Jai Bharti, Namaskar. Today we are going to discuss important subject related with Bhagavad Gita and we'll try to compare with modern biology. So, there is a word in Bhagavad Gita called Mūrtayaḥ. So, we'll try to find out the mystery of Mūrtayaḥ and did Bhagwan Krishna reveal the universal diversity of life through this particular word in this sloka. So let's examine. See, when you think about life, then there is a question which is asked about this particular life, that what is life, how did it arise, how did it begin. So for thousands of years the saints, philosophers, scientists have tried to understand where the life comes from, why millions of different organisms they exist, and what invisible force actually unites them. So, modern biology searches this answer through fossils, DNA, genetics, and evolution. But more than 5,000 years back, in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagwan Krishna presented a profound vision of life while explaining the entire thing to Arjuna. So here there is a vision that merely does not concern only human beings, it actually embraces every living organism. Because Brahma is in every organism. So every plant, every bird, every fish, every insect, every animal, every human being, every embodied form of life. So there is Brahma in it, and Bhagwan Krishna mentions this through a remarkable Sanskrit word called Mūrtayaḥ. A single word which opens the door to one of the deepest discussions on life found in the whole world's literature. Is it biology, or is it philosophy, or it is something even greater than it? So let's try to uncover this particular riddle. See, the Bhagwan Krishna, he calls himself as the universal womb. So in chapter number 14, shloka 3, he says, Mam yonir mahad brahma tasmin garbha dadhadiham sambhava sarva bhutanam tato bhavati bharata. So he says, my great Prakriti is the universal womb. Into that I place the seed, O Bharata, and from this union arise, from this particular union, everything arises. See, this is an extraordinary declaration. So Krishna is not describing the birth of one nation, not the birth of one religion, not the birth of one species. He is speaking of Sarva Bhutana, means all the living beings. So now in the next shloka, he again mentions Sarvayonishu Kaunteya Mūrtaya Sambhavantiya Tasam Brahma Mahadionir aham bij pradapita. So he says that, O Arjuna, O son of Kunti, whatever embodied form arise in every yoni, the great Prakriti is their universal womb, and I am the seed giving father. So here he says, he uses three words, Bija, Mahadyoni and Mūrtayaḥ. So Bij means the seed, Mahadyoni means the womb, and Mūrtayaḥ means the embodied form. So these three ideas together, they create the most comprehensive philosophical descriptions of life ever expressed, and that too 5,000 years back. So let's understand what does Mūrtayaḥ actually means. See, when in India, when people hear about the word Murti, they immediately think of an idol or a statue. But this is not the meaning in this verse. See, Mūrtayaḥ, it means, you can say, the Swarup or the form of God. He says, Bhagwan, the commentator writes, Vivid Sansthan Arthat Sharir means different bodily organisms, means different physical structures, different bodies. In other words, every organism is a Murti. The same, see, everyone is a Brahma. He is part of the same, you can say, the universal God. So, like a banyan tree is a Murti. And in fact, Bhagwan Krishna in the 10th chapter, he says that in many of the forms, he says that I am that. Means particularly he mentions, like people tree or cow or many things he mentions. So, a butterfly is a Murti, a whale is a Murti, a tiger is a Murti, a human being is also a Murti. In fact, in southern part of our nation, India, people have this name, Rama Murti, Krishna Murti. These are famous names. Murti means Swarupa, means the form. Maybe like Rama Swarup or Krishna Swarup, it is Rama Murti. So, see, now let's try to understand that means every physical embody, means every physical body through which life is being expressed itself is a Murti. Each one of them. See this, how beautiful see this particular thing is, and this has, it's a different understanding from the modern concepts. Krishna is not talking about stone images. He is talking about living existence, living bodies. Maybe which we have not discovered also. What we can see, which we cannot see, everything. So, see, there is a diversity everywhere. He does not say only in human beings. He does not say that only among animals. He does not say that only among plants. He says Sarva Yonisu. So in every yoni, this single word changes everything. Because yoni means animals, birds, reptiles, plant, aquatic and life, all the insects, all possible mode of birth. So, Krishna's vision is, it's not anthropocentric, but it is universal. See, long before biology became a formal science, Bhagavad Gita invented, we don't say not invented, in fact, it described to the entire humanity to see life as one of the means the huge and vast interconnected family. So the ancient classification of life, while explaining the Murtis, are in major 4 categories. One is the Jarayuj, means people or the creatures which are born of womb. That means human being, elephants, cows, tigers, lion, everything. So, and modern biology, they call it as viviparous organisms, whereas in Sanskrit we call it as Jarayuj. Now, the second form is Andaj, which is born out of egg, like birds, snakes, fish. Modern biology calls it as oviparous organisms. The third word which is mentioned in the word Mūrtayaḥ is the Udbhija. They are creatures or species which sprout from the earth, like trees, the plants, grass, seeds, rose, means whatever. All the species which are sprouting from the earth, which are coming out of the earth. So they are called as Udbhij, means all the type of vegetations, the entire forest, everything. And then the fourth category is the Swadej, means these are the ancient thinking that these are minute organisms, or they emerge from moisture and decaying matter. Today's microbiology explains this through microorganisms and reproduction under their they don't call it as spontaneous generation, but they call it through that the scientific explanation is that this particular the modern biology tells us about the mosquitoes, the wood lice, the four-eyed lice, the frogs. Means there are a lot of creatures. They have because today's science, it's a microbiology, but we have to understand that this particular sort of thinking was there at that time. So let's understand that this was a beautiful observation. And Bhagavan Krishna never asked, what religion does this organism belongs to? He never asked what country it belongs to. He has only one question: how does this body manifest? How does life evolves in this? And this is precisely what today's modern biology studies. That biology investigates how organisms arise, how they develop, how they reproduce, and how different body plans emerges. And thousands of years ago, Bhagavad Gita was already directing attention towards these astonishing diversity of the various life forms. Now take the mystery of the yonis. See, as per our Vedas and Bhagavad Gita, there are 84 lakh yonis, means 84 lakh species, or you can say 8.4 million species. They are different form of life, with all those forms which in Mūrtayaḥ we have seen. So let's understand the modern biology, which says that Earth may contain 8.7 million species, and only a fraction of this has been actually been identified. There are millions which are undiscovered, but the astonishing thing is the numbers. Our ancient knowledge says it's 8.4 million, and modern biology they are saying 8.7, out of which there are millions have not been discovered. So let's understand, how could this be? So see, this is basically this is the you can say the kind of imagination India had. So let's try to understand more about this. Let's understand the modern how this modern biology evolved. So in form of the philosophies or the theories described by Aristotle or Darwin or Mendel. So the scientific journey began, they say, with Aristotle. That thousands of years means they like normally people used to admire the nature, they used to admire the birds, the fishes, the trees, and but they could not understand how life appeared in so many different forms. So all means maybe almost of more than 3000 years after Krishna, a Greek philosopher, Aristotle, started this particular study in a very systematic way, and often called as the father of biology. Aristotle carefully observed and classified nearly 500 species of animals. For the first time in history, biology began to move from philosophical reflection towards the systematic observation. So his work laid the foundation upon which the future scientists could build new theories. So, but he could describe only what he could see, because he did not have a microscope. He was not having any knowledge about genetics or about the understanding of cells. So you can say he described the murtis, but not the invisible process behind them. Whatever he could see, this 500. Now the age of classification later happened with particularly with Darwin. See, Darwin changed the biology forever. So he says that species were not fixed, they changed, they adapted over immense periods of time. Natural selection shaped the extraordinary diversity of life. And Darwin answered a question that that puzzled humanity for centuries. He tried to answer this. And where are there millions of different species? Why are where and why are these millions of species? So he tried to provide a theory which is called as evolution. That evolution remains one of the central principles of modern biology. So Darwin actually tried to explain how the diversity develops. Krishna actually, he asked a different question. What is the common source behind every form of diversity? So there's two different things. What is the common source? And here Darwin tries to explain how diversity develops. So one investigates mechanism, other investigates how the ultimate origin is. And it's not the same question, it's two different questions. Later, Mendel discovered the secret of inheritance, that how characteristics pass from parents to the offsprings. Similarly, so you can say the Mendel actually he thought that how tall trees produce tall plants, or green seeds produce green seeds. So he tried to understand this hidden inheritance thing. So he is called the father of genetics, because the ancient idea of beej, the seed, suddenly acquired an entirely new different scientific meaning. The beej concept which we had, but not as a spiritual principle, but as a biological inheritance. Yet what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita about the beej extends beyond physical heredity. His seed represents that the originating principle from which embodied existence itself emerges. So these two ideas are different, but they both recognize every living organism begins with an initiating source. So DNA was the language of life. Then came the humanity's one of the greatest discoveries, James Watson and Francis Crick, and Franklin was there, Maurice Wilkins. They understood the structure of the DNA. Within every living cell exists a molecular code, a language written with few chemical letters, and these tiny molecules they actually determine how things are shaped. Means actually it's basically how proteins are being built, and the four chemical letters are A, T, G and C. So protein actually builds cells, cells builds tissues, tissues builds organ builds living organisms. So modern biology has finally uncovered the molecular mechanism behind the diversity of life. This is the blueprint of the human body or any species. And now let's understand both Krishna's the entire whatever he tried to teach and biology. Modern biology teaches us that there is DNA, there is genes, there is protein, there is cell, there is organs, organisms, and Bhagavad Gita represents another sequence. He says beej or the seed, Mahadyoni means the universal womb or the universal matrix, and Mūrtayaḥ, the embodied forms. Are these similar? No. Bhagavad Gita is not describing DNA, and modern biology is not discussing about this metaphysical origins. But yet both frameworks distinguish three broad ideas. There is an originating principle, there is an environment which develops, and a product or the manifested organism. So, one explains the physical mechanism, other explains the philosophical foundations. So, actually, they don't contradict each other. They actually address these different dimensions of the same mystery. So, one source, that is infinite diversity. Now, Krishna word, his words, they have means it's so beautiful. He says Sarva Yonis, means all the 8.4 million species, be it mammals, be it aquatic animals, whatever, or the most invisible, or the fungus, or whatever. The source is one. One universal source is expressing itself through this all 8.4 million species. Now a question comes that modern science still cannot answer how a cell divides, how a DNA replicates, how embryos develop, how species evolve. Means they can, you can say that these are the things which biology can answer. That about species, about DNA, about cells, but it cannot, why life exists, it's not able to answer this. And how should matter become a living thing? Where does the consciousness arise from? And what is the law which is capable of producing life? So few questions biology can answer as per today, about the cells, about the DNA, about the embryos, but the larger question is still remains. In fact, it has not identified the entire Sarva Yonis. That means the entire 8.4 million or 8.7 million species. But Bhagavan Krishna is not only interested in how bodies are formed. He says that who is the knower of the body? Who experiences life? Who witnesses birth? Who is witnessing the growth, the old age, and the death? So, Bhagavad Gita is not limited to biology. Perhaps it begins where biology finishes or ends. Now, let's try to understand. So, like Bhagavad Gita has explained that it does not end with biology. In fact, biology is just the part of it, just only the beginning. Bhagavan Krishna actually tries to explain the origin of all the living beings. He asks us to look even deeper, not merely at life, but what is governing the universe itself. He says that, see, Bhagavad Gita, it inspires not only the spiritual seekers, but also the scientists. Like we compared with biology, the engineers, the psychologists, the management experts, and of course the philosophers. Its influence is beyond a sect, a country, a religion. Let's take example astronomy. So before the world knew about telescopes. India was having this, they knew about this entire interconnected cosmic order. So yes, he expresses everything. Then Bhagavad Gita, it studies consciousness. But see, the biology is limited. It can tell us the genetic things, the clones, it can develop vaccines. But what is consciousness? It is not able to say anything. How do we behave in a different way? Each Mūrtayaḥ is different. Each Mūrtayaḥ means 8.4 lakh species, and in each of these yonis there are millions and millions of forms for the Mūrtayaḥ. It is not able to explain. So, see this, even the management things, like the concept of debate, it is there discussed in Bhagavad Gita. 5 eyes explained to Arjuna. This fishbone diagram, cause and effect, is there. Bhagavad Gita is so comprehensive and not limited to one thing. Only biology or management or the about God or about various other things, about our body, our mind, our intellect, our chitta, all the karma. Not only one aspect, means it is limitless. So let's try to understand that Bhagavad Gita has a lot of influence, and today we were actually trying to limit it only with biology, but yes, have a comparative study between biology and Bhagavad Gita. I have already discussed a lot of management things which is related to Bhagavad Gita in the other videos. So now I will try to end this. It's a long video. So thank you. Namaskar. Hope you liked it. I understand it's a very peculiar subject, and it's a tough one also for everyone, for me also. But I thought we should discuss this. It's important. We should understand Bhagavad Gita because it's really profound. Thank you. Namaskar. Jai Bharati.